This lecture was created by Danny Kessler, Associate Professor at Dongso University and Korea's first PhD in wellness tourism. In global business operations, there is a persistent mechanical friction. The pace of corporate innovation consistently outruns the speed of government legislation. This bottleneck specifically paralyzes emerging markets like wellness and medical tourism. These are high-compliance sectors, requiring strict legal definitions to scale. Yet those parameters often do not exist. Operators who passively wait for a national government to draft, debate, and pass these definitions remain frozen in place, burning capital without achieving market entry. In highly regulated spaces, achieving market leadership relies on securing a legally protected environment to operate in before competitors, rather than attempting to build a flawless product first. This protected operational environment is known strategically as a legal greenhouse. Standard wellness companies attempting to test new health protocols or business models outside of these greenhouses routinely fail, shut down by regulatory agencies for operating in undefined gray areas. Geographic location directly dictates the speed at which a company can move and the specific legal limitations it faces. National governments are inherently slow, burdened by blanket policies for millions. Local provinces, however, possess agile, specialized legislative capabilities tailored to specific economic needs. Professional players in the wellness space view this disparity between national and local legislative speeds as an exploitable loophole. Selecting an operational base is a deliberate strategic choice to bypass national regulatory lag. The specific mechanism used to engineer this legal greenhouse is called the policy stack. This diagram illustrates a policy stack. The base layer uses Jeju Special Act tax incentives, lowering barriers for capital. The middle layer utilizes broad national mandates like the Forest Welfare Act. The Apex 2021 Wellness Ordinance locks the structure together, activating the lower tiers. Individually, these laws offer limited utility. Stacked together, the local ordinance directs the national mandate, while the Special Tax Act subsidizes the execution. This specific combination creates a legally shielded space. It allows wellness startups and medical retreats to experiment with new business models years before those same models are legally permissible on the mainland. By layering ordinances, special acts, and national laws, Jeju transforms from a geographic island into an isolated, protected policy laboratory. To see the real-world impact of the policy stack, we examine the chronological timeline of South Korean wellness legislation. This timeline highlights a distinct 5-year gap. In blue, the local ordinance is activated in 2021. The gray marker represents the national law, extending all the way to 2026. By unilaterally passing the Jeju Special Self-Governing Province Ordinance on the promotion and support of wellness tourism, Jeju established its legal parameters ahead of the entire country. During this half-decade gap, mainland provinces remained entirely dependent on the passage of the National Act on the promotion of the healing tourism industry. Operating legally while competitors remain legally frozen creates time asymmetry. This is the purest form of the first-mover advantage. The immediate consequence of this time asymmetry is the acquisition of an exclusive data monopoly. This telemetry dashboard tracks the results of that monopoly. It maps 5 years of accumulated tourist movement, intersecting with distinct resident income models and localized village certification standards. A half-decade of unhindered operation allowed the province to absorb the cost of early mistakes, bypassing the trial-and-error phase that typically destroys early-stage startups. Compare this refined, battle-tested operational data against the zero-data starting point of competitors in Seoul, Busan, and Gangwon, who are only now beginning their initial trials. Theoretical business plans presented in boardrooms cannot compete with 5 years of actual in-market telemetry. For professional players, Jeju offers the only proven track record in the nation capable of converting natural capital into high-signal economic leverage. The strategic playbook requires discarding the consumer perception of Jeju as a simple vacation spot. Geography must be evaluated strictly in professional terms, as industrial infrastructure and an active policy testing ground. This map outlines the professional playbook. Glowing nodes in Jeju represent utilizing existing infrastructure to validate business models. Operating within this pre-existing policy stack de-risks investments, deploying capital into a proven legal structure. Once validated, data streams show scaling and exporting directly to mainland markets. This export strategy scales faster and with significantly less friction than attempting to start from zero in a different, unproven province. Strategic leverage is achieved by securing validation in a de-risked local greenhouse before engaging the broader national and global markets. A first-mover advantage is a temporary time window. It is not a permanent state of dominance. Returning to the timeline, the visual zoom demonstrates the shrinking advantage gap. The 2026 national law implementation is rapidly approaching. The activation of this national legislation will inevitably erode Jeju's exclusive data monopoly as the mainland provinces finally come online and begin their own operations. The directive for the next generation of strategists is therefore tied to a strict deadline. Execution requires scientific precision to extract maximum value before the 5-year head start expires. Use the existing data. Leverage the active policy stack. Think like a scientist and act as a professional player in the wellness industry today. This concludes the strategic briefing.